Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Zesty or Testy podcast. I am your host, Testy McNasty. With me, as always, is Zesty Tito de la Pinga.
Hey, ¿qué pasó?
Today we have a special guest, Daniel. What's up, Daniel?
What's up?
We always start this podcast off with a toast. Here's to the art of conversation. May this dialogue be filled with curiosity and laughter, and may the insights we gain linger on long after the podcast ends. Cheers.
Oops. Salute. Cheers, man. Cheers. I like that, man.
Daniel here is Alex's nephew. I met you at Alex's birthday party. You told me the most fascinating...
Yorktown Hospital, Alex?
Yes, Alex is a friend of the show. He's been on the show twice, including the time that we went to the most haunted building in the entire state of Texas, Yorktown Hospital. You watched that one? Are you subscribed? Did you like and subscribe?
Subscribe.
All right.
Had to. I'm a fan of the arts.
Sir, you told me the most interesting story I've ever heard in my life about your childhood. Can you tell that story? Can you share that story with
So
our audience?
growing up, I was born in Gary, Indiana, and it was like a very high crime gun area. But my mom was from West Africa, so eventually when we grew up, we moved to Minnesota, and I lived in St. Paul area. So there's a lot of, I would say, Hmong people who live there. There's a lot of different immigrants for that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically she was like, you grew up in kind of a ghetto area. But long story short, she became a nurse. And she'd always tell me misbehaving, I would get in trouble, that I would basically, if I didn't stop doing all this bad stuff I would do, she would send me back to West Africa, where she was from. And so I kind of understood that we were from Africa, but I didn't understand in the difference between Nigerian versus Jamaican.
Sure.
Now, Jamaican was a lot more popular to people in pop culture and stuff, but I was okay.
That's a completely different continent.
It's a different continent, but it's actually the same culture. They're all very closely related.
Oh.
Especially to the transatlantic slaves. So a lot of people get dropped off in the islands before they get to the Americas. So, but basically I was okay, so this is the main continent, right? But long story short, she was I do stand-up comedy and I do jokes about this.
Yeah.
So I have a whole bit and it's very funny. So it's very well rehearsed, but I didn't want to flex it too hard on you guys because it's it's already on there. But basically she goes, "Goddamn, stop sneaking white girls into my house. Stop stealing cars overnight." And I'm like, oh snap, because I'm
How many white girls did you sneak into the house?
There's one
How many is too
Puerto Rican
many?
girl and one white girl, but it was really scary. One time I was I don't know how I didn't get caught because I was she became a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
She studied and my aunt was my dad's little brother was she was kind of a welfare kind of person. She was if you go too hard, they'll take away your welfare. My mom's I want to be a nurse because I have multiple kids.
Yeah.
So she's she builds a house in up north Minnesota. So she has a house where we grew up, and then another house up north. So we're living in the house that she's rented it out to these people who are kind of white trash, but that's another story. But long story short, she's like, if you guys keep misbehaving over here in Minnesota, I'm gonna send you, to Nigeria.
Back to Africa.
Yeah. So we didn't believe her. We always think it's a joke, but I would sneak out and hang out with these dumb kids. It was ridiculous. It was just I was the only kid there. But long story short, she was okay, well, what do you guys want to do for your summer vacation one year? I think it's 7th grade. I was you want to go to Japan to get all the cheapest Jordans? Because we're yeah, we're gonna have them all. They'll be made right there. And so she, all right, 2 weeks later, gets us the tickets. And she's all right, I'll see you guys later. You're going to go with your stepdad, and I'll meet you guys over there. Get on the plane with them. I remember calling one of my friends at the airport. I'm hey, man, I'm about to get on the plane. And we get on the plane. I'm talking. I'm hanging out. I'm sitting by this white guy, and I'm yeah, we're going to Japan. It's going to be great. We're going to get shoes. And then the next thing you know, he says, there is no route to Japan where we're going. We're going to Amsterdam. And we're going to West Africa. And I was yeah, then after that, we're going to Japan. And my mom's going to meet us there. So, and he's nah, there's no flight path. Look, right here. And my stepdad's standing sitting behind us in the chair. And he's just looming over. And I'm okay, well, I don't know what's going on, but...
At some point, we're going to be in Japan.
Yeah, we're going to be there.
Is the plane already up in the air at this point?
Yes, I think I'm well on my way. My mom had packed, I used to get, a lot of headaches as a kid.
A lot of what?
Headaches.
Okay.
Just, maybe from just not drinking water. That's what I would say. But she packed all this Tylenol. Why'd she pack this much Tylenol?
Yeah.
But anyways, we get over to we get over to Amsterdam, sitting there. It's like, okay, whatever. And then we get to Africa, and my stepdad goes, yeah, like, your mom's brother's gonna come over here and talk to you, whatever. Basically, you know, he comes over. I'm like, I have no idea why I need him, but okay. But it started to kind of dawn on me the night before he came over that something was up, and this wasn't gonna be like easy to get out of. And I was just like, I started having like a slight like what's going on really? What's really going on? I think I kind of knew. So.
All right, so you land in West Africa. What happens?
It was hot, and we just basically get off the plane. And I feel like we had to bribe a lot of people just to get, like, to where we needed to go.
Bribe?
Like, to get our luggage in a quick and orderly fashion, like, knowing where to get everything. Like, where is the stuff that came off of? I don't speak language at this point, but I'm interested in the language.
Yeah.
Where would we get our luggage? She's like, oh, well, if I bribe this guy, he'll tell me exactly where the luggage from that plane is. And it's like, yeah, they know you're from America. They're going to do that. So basically, they have to change money as well in the parking lot. Like, as soon as you land, because, like, when you get there, what are you going to do? Start spending American dollars?
Nobody takes dollars?
I mean, some people do, but it's just to switch it out because you can't spend that currency there. And even now, the currency exchange rate is crazy. Like, my mom just built a house. It's insane. For, like, less than $50K.
In Africa?
Yes.
Okay.
It's huge. And it's like, bro, like, I was like, I don't ask her for money because she has 5 kids.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, she's like, hey, check out this house I just built. And it's like the whole house.
Nice.
I was like, oh my God. But she was telling me she had her niece, like, source all the material straight from there. And it's like, it's on land she owns. And it's like, man, like, if you could really like get some money aside, you could do that. And like, some of the people that I met there went on to like I befriended them, and later on in life, they were like kind of like watching what I was doing, and then like did what I did, and then became like citizens and like all types of stuff like military. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like when I met you and we were like 10, 11, maybe whatever in Africa, I could have never expected that you would be one of the people who was like, yeah, I remember when you came from America, and now I'm in America.
You're a good influence. You're a good influence on everybody. Let me ask you a question. When you said you had to bribe people to get your luggage, I've never been to Africa. I haven't been out of the continent. I've seen on TV that India is like a bribery culture. In order to get like your phone fixed, you gotta bribe somebody. In order to get your plumbing fixed, you gotta
it's
bribe.
not heavily like that, especially, but I would say like at the time, at my age, that's all I would notice in comparison to the States, where like that was like, man, no one's about to be getting a bribe. Like that's crazy.
You gotta bribe everybody.
But to me, I was like, it was a lot bigger of a deal. So like going over there, the culture is completely different. The kids over there speak like 2 or 3 different languages.
Oh.
They wash their clothes by hand.
Yeah.
Iron them, and they're like kids. So then I had to catch up. They're speaking French. I can barely spell anything in British English. And I'm getting beat just like them on my hand, on my back, over the cane. Some of these teachers.
The teachers?
Yeah, the teachers hit the kids, and that's the part people like really don't realize because they think education is a joke. Over there, it's very serious. So, after that, I understood why everybody there was doctors and nurses, because they're like, well, if we do this right, your education will be the foundation of you getting a house, a car, like abroad. Like a lot of people. So there's a heavy influence of West Africans in Europe, as in like, especially London. There's like a third of the West Africans, Nigerians, all like just same names. And so like a lot of them, they say abroad, right? So they're either talking about London or America. And then they just basically have their kids living in Nigeria so that their kids don't come here and become corrupted by the media and how everything is here.
Sure.
So especially now how everything's getting with like how politics are. It's getting to like a fever pitch where it's like seeping into everything, and you try to ignore it because not everybody knows like only so much about each little topic, and the news tries to cram it all in for us, but it's bullshit. And then you have to realize from different perspectives, that's where you realize what's actually going on, right? So I didn't want to trail off too far, but it's like there's what's going on, there's what you think's going on, and then there's like a bigger picture of people are actually orchestrating.
So how long were you out there?
Oh, I was out there for 2 years. And like I basically was like the equivalent of like 7th and 8th, maybe 7th.
Middle school over there?
Kind of something like that. And it was like basically I learned my mom's language, I learned a bunch of French,
Nice.
and I started like it was so like immersive that I started like dreaming in another language.
Oh,
And I
that's
was like,
crazy.
Snap, what was that? And I woke up one day and I could just hear everything. So I'm like, so I was a Jehovah's Witness, right? Growing up, I'm preaching to people about Jehovah's Witnesses and like.
How old are you?
Right now I'm 31.
No, at the time
Oh,
that
at
you're
the time?
preaching to people that
This is probably
Jehovah's
like
Witnesses.
10, 11, 12.
Wow.
Like really young. But like I was like, oh, my mom like actually sent me over here, and I'm probably not gonna get back on that. So like I pray. So I was very like religious, and then I was like, all right, well, at the end of the day, she came back and realized how it was and how it affected us, and was like, damn, like I guess that's about right what I wanted. Like now they'll probably figure it out.
Yeah.
And even then, it was like somewhat. It was very helpful for me because it gave me a very high tolerance for like responsibility and just like adapting and like emotional development. Because I had to understand very quickly that like even if I am upset, like no matter what level of emotional thinking, like
You can't just outburst
yeah,
everything.
it's not gonna. And it's like you think that's gonna help you. Like the teachers here will beat you until you're like breathless. Like
Oh, shit.
like, and I was like, yo, like, and you're like, yo, like, and then like, you know, if you keep really acting stupid and like your grades don't go up, they'll literally be like, you know, I think he needs to go to boarding school.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, bro, like, my mom's not here. Like,
Yeah.
they're like,
There's nobody
you
there
don't
to
care, but
defend
your
you
mom's
for
not.
anything.
Nah, say that when you get over there.
Yeah.
Say that when you get over there in the boarding house.
Yeah.
My mom's not here. Where's your mom? My mom's in da da da. There's gonna be kids that are gonna say the same thing as you. Actually, they're
Exactly.
gonna say my mom's in London, and you're gonna say, oh shit. You're gonna say, oh.
You went to Catholic school, right?
I did. Yeah.
Did the nuns hit you? in
Absolutely.
Catholic school? Yeah.
Absolutely, and we had that conversation on another podcast about how, and of course I grew up in the '80s, much younger than you, and so and I was in, elementary school in the '80s, and Catholic school. It was during the time when if you got in trouble, you came in and our, call it Mother Superior or principal, right, which was a nun, you got scolded, but I remember at one time she hit me with a ruler, right?
Age-wise.
Edgewise, yeah. And it fucking hurt, right? But I don't know what hurt more, the fact that she hit me and it really hurt, and then she picked up the phone and called my mom.
And your mom hit you when you got home.
Fuck yeah. and not only did I get in trouble when I got home, but I was kind of hoping that she would at least tell our principal,
Please don't hit my son.
please don't hit my son again. But she tells our principal, if this ever happens again, you have my full permission to do whatever you need to. I'm like, I thought you loved me, lady. I mean, where's the love for your kid, But yeah, man,
So you got hit once.
yeah, the rest of the times it was attempted murder on my mom's part.
But like in school in Africa, you got beat like multiple
Be as many
times.
times as you want, bro.
Hit you as many times
So
as
you
you
get
want.
to school, right? And then like, this is the craziest thing. So sometimes you could get there, right? And if your uniform isn't properly washed and pressed, like ironed, they might tell you, oh, hey, did you iron this? And you'd be like, no. Or you can lie, or you know what I'm saying? If you lie, they'll just be like, yeah, definitely. Tell them when you get back there to give you double. Like, and when I get back there, I'm going to ask the guy who's flogging everybody, who's thrashing everybody, I'm going to ask him if you told him to give you double.
Yeah.
And you better have told him to give you double because you lied to me over here.
Yeah.
About if you.
And then you didn't do what you were
And it was
instructed to
crazy
do.
because, like, to me, like, as an American kid, I was like, damn, like, I'm sure y'all want to make sure I'm okay. Like, if I fall in the mud and I'm all messed up. Like,
We don't give a shit about that.
dude, it was crazy. Like, they'd be like, yo, why are you all dirty? You're like, oh, I fell. I fell a block away from school.
Yeah.
And they're like,
You
so
get
why
in
did
trouble for falling?
So, no, they'd be like, no, but then why did you come? And then you're like,
Should have got home and washed your clothes.
and then came and said you were late. I'm like, no, I just didn't want to be late. It's like, but now you're dirty. And it's like, but I'm not late. And it's like, but you're dirty. And I'm like, oh.
So it's a no-win
Like,
situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, damned if you do, damned if you don't, dude.
Yeah, my friend, go ahead and kneel down at the back. Kneel down. You're kneeling down with your eyes closed, hands up, or some nonsense until they have time. And you can literally hear them beating everyone else. house.
Oh, shit.
And some of them will be like, oh! Nah, and usually at that point, they're all like really like stone cold killers, you know? And like, I'm the only one crying. And they're like, America, stop crying. Stop crying. You keep crying, we'll not be your friend. And they'll be like, it's called Dustin Kane. So they'll be hitting the kids and he'll be like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And he'll be like, bro, he'll be looking right
on
at the
your
teacher.
arm?
On your hand.
On your hand?
On your back.
Shit.
And sometimes the teacher will ask you where and stuff. And like some of them will be like all these crazy stories like, oh, you know, that teacher actually soaked his cane in kerosene and peppers.
Oh shit!
So it
would burn at the.
You know he likes to tap people's ear.
Yeah.
He likes to flip people's ear with his cane. That should be burning for like 3 days.
Wow.
And you'd be like, oh man! Every time he's near, you'd be like, oh, he's here. And then be like, yo, like everybody's really. So some kids get so good, they're getting hit in the back, right? And they'll be tying the ties. So I learned how to tie like a double Windsor, single Windsor, all that nonsense. So then I'm over there trying to spell honor or color. I can't spell shit straight. They're like, American boy. That slapped me. It was crazy. And my little brother went to school there too, right? And basically, it was like the same experience for him, but they're like private schools, you know? And they had us doing all this extra stuff, like, just to make sure the kids were very sharp. Yeah. But I'm like the oldest kid there because I'm from America and I'm slow. And they're like, you have to memorize these for me. So I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So a lot of the upbringing from the 80s obviously didn't carry on into the 90s or current day, whether it was Mexico or even here in the U.S. I mean, you can't do a lot of the shit that would happen back in the 80s, like the whole paddling, right? When would you say that was happening? Like, was it just like late 90s, early 2000s?
I was in the 2000s, so 6.
2006?
Yeah, this is like 07, 06, like, and it's like probably still like that.
Not too long ago, man.
It's probably still like that in Africa.
Well, that was my next question. Do you suppose it's changed?
Not too much, because they want their schools to be like serious. Like they don't want Americans to like do the stuff they do here, try the stuff they try here, and they get all upset about that stuff. But it's like, if you like, it's just a very serious upbringing, and it gave me such a perspective that like I was like, wow, like this isn't like this experience that we have as a life isn't just like so finite. Like, you can actually do so much more than you realize. Yeah. Because there's some people who don't have what you have, and they're going to do a lot. Some of them do it just as much or even more, and are happier or whatever with just making stuff happen. It's very interesting to watch, like especially. Like, I probably told you a little about what I've been doing with the whole Amazon stuff, right?
Sure.
Like, when you put a little bit of effort into something, you get a lot more, like, help from people that you didn't even know. Yeah. And it seems really weird. Like, it seems very sketchy at first. You're like, who are you and why are you trying to help me? Yeah. But at first, like, some people struggle for years trying to find help. But I had started this podcast because I've been working for Amazon after I left the military. I was a combat medic, and I just decided that I didn't want to be in the military anymore. So then I started working for Amazon, and I noticed that a lot of people.
Before we get into Amazon, I still have questions about Nigeria. What was life like outside of school? You talked about life in school. What was life like?
It was pretty hot, but you got used to it, and so like you wouldn't notice that you didn't have AC. Like you could live without AC for years and like not really even think about it.
And what were the temperatures?
I mean, at least 100. Like I didn't notice. Like 100, it could go up, down, 90s.
The houses didn't have AC at all.
Hot season and rainy season. There's wet and dry season. Yeah. And there's a place called like Hammer Time, which like is like a dust that blows in from the desert or something.
It's called Hammer Time?
Hammer. I don't even know how to spell it. It's like a British term.
Okay.
Call it. And it was just like a cold, like dusty season. It was weird.
Dust was blowing?
Yeah, and it was just cold.
But would you go out and hang out with friends and stuff, or?
Yeah, I had a couple friends. They were cool.
What would y'all do?
Some of them were like had parents abroad and stuff, so they were like, "Yeah, I've been to like London, or I've been to this place, and I'm just here because my parents are." So like part of the reason, like when you're there, living in that. Like,
welcome back.
Go get them.
But when you live in that environment, like, so you can save so much money, like, it's crazy. So imagine raising 2 kids on, like, essentially, like, $100.
cost of living is pretty cheap.
My mom's, it was crazy.
What's the poverty like?
I mean, it's super crazy in a lot of places. It's a very big country, but like in the areas that I was in, like it wasn't as bad. Especially because my uncle, who I was living with, he was like, he used to work for an Italian airline, Alitalia or something like that. But he was really good guy. Taught me a lot of stuff. Learned a lot of like lessons out there. It was crazy.
So what was it like coming back? I mean,
Oh, it was crazy.
major
It was
culture shock, or
It was going there was a culture shock, and like just being there, I had to like just understand how to like take care of myself. Growing up, like, it was
Nice.
pretty good.
Do you feel like you became a better person because of the experience? Yeah.
I recommend it. People don't realize how like, especially now it's even crazier because like back then people didn't even have cell phones.
Yeah.
But people started having cell phones over there, and it was like I remember talking to this guy who lived there, and I speak Yoruba to him, whatever. And I great even right now, I can speak like at least 30%. Oh, sorry, 30% Arabic. I can speak 60-70% Spanish, 40% French. Like I'm very good. Like I can say what I needed to in all these languages to get around.
Sure.
And like I basically love to like learn languages. So if I meet someone, I'll probably know at least like the openers and casual talk to like anyone really, because I've been to so many experiences in places like with the military too.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I really like language. Like it's very like kind of like addicting. I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, you know what's crazy is like these are all related, and it's like, man, this is a joke to be honest. Like to say like this word is the same in 3 languages minus 1 or 2 letters.
Yeah.
And say no, they're different. It's like, bro, that's a joke. Like you basically need to learn these. Like let's just say people say, oh yeah, you should learn Latin. You probably should. You should learn one of those because you speak English and that stuff is hard.
Would you send your kids there to Africa to get that kind of education?
It's debatable, but my wife definitely would not let her. She wants to go visit. So she wants to go visit my mom's place.
Yeah.
So we like put it in already, but it's like to me, like it's not like so. My younger brother, it's definitely way more trauma based. Like he wouldn't want to go, but like to me, I had a pretty good time. Like I learned so much.
You didn't get beat like that? You got a good time.
Nah, like, and it's so weird. Like, it's not like a, and like, so that's the joke I tell. Like, I'd be like, yo, they'd be like, American boy, you want to go to the police, Abi? And I'd be like, yeah, this is abuse. And then they're like, ha ha ha, this is Nigeria. And it's like, yeah, bro, that's my punchline, bro. Like, bro, I get so hyped to turn up on the stage, bro. I'll be up there, and they'll be like, yo, like, was that a real story? I'll be like, no, that's dead ass serious. Bro, let me tell you about the time, bro. I have several Africa stories. Like, so this is the biggest part, too. Like, I started to cultivate these experiences, right? And I was like, bro, you could, even if you didn't want to do, like, straight comedy, you got to do stand-up sets with this, and you can do, like, little episodes and just put them out and just be like, oh, books or a movie, a short movie, and then everyone else starts doing it. Like, people putting movies out about being sent to Africa and their parents, whatever. And it's like, this is happening to a lot of people. This isn't happening to just you. That's that whole perspective thing, right?
Yeah.
And understanding that being separate is an illusion. This is a different version of me.
Yeah. We're all one soul with different experiences.
Yeah, because you wouldn't expect me to podcast. It's like, yo, man, you podcast. Like, you gotta come to my podcast. Like, and I've been, like, falling off because, like, I was going hard. I was going so hard with podcasts, right?
Yeah.
I literally had Business Insider, Forbes. I think I probably showed it to you, right? Mm-hmm. It's so obnoxious to say, but if you Google me, just Google my first and last name, Daniel Olayiwola, it pops up like 7-8 articles.
What was the name of your podcast? Shout it out.
It's called Surviving Scamazon Podcast. Where I talk
Surviving Scamazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talk about the trials and the tribulations of the Amazon warehouse and I guess driver associates. I haven't really interviewed any drivers in a minute. But basically, like, I was doing this podcast for a couple of years after working at Amazon because, like, it kind of reminded me of the military. And people in the military would do anything for whatever amount of time. They're, like, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've been over there for, like, 7 years, and it doesn't really, like, super, like, phase me.
Are you still working on Amazon?
I am. It's
okay.
Great. I love it.
For 7, you love it?
Yeah, I love it.
Then why'd you start a podcast about it?
I voiced my opinions, and now that I've voiced my opinions, I feel a lot better about it. And like the voice that I've given myself myself and the people, but I have to be like responsible with my like platform. You know, I
Sure.
can't just go on there reporting fake nonsense.
No.
Like, oh, this happened, and then get some kind of investigation. You know,
Mhm.
so like and not weaponize it too. You know, like if something happens to me and I made a mistake, I can't just be like, oh, I'm pissed. So let me go make an episode. So like lately, I've been just trying to focus on like it's gonna be other people selling out. It's gonna be other people talking shit. It's not gonna be me.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
So, and
interviewing
like
people.
right now, what's going on is like I have like every 3 to 6 months, I tell people like what's going on and what's gonna happen and how they're gonna be like, bro, you told me they're gonna try to fire me. I was gonna get injured. They're gonna try to like mess me up. Like it's always the same like repeat things, right? You get injured, they put you on some bullshit accommodations and keep you working, right?
Yeah.
You never heal up. They withdraw those accommodations and now you're there and they're like,
Oh,
you're
shit.
not making rate. You're written up. You can't switch positions.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're about to get fired if you get written up 1 or 2 more times.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, if they know they're about to get fired, they'll quit and then like come rehire so they can come back in 30 days. And I'm like, dude,
Oh.
you need to go somewhere else. This is not a good job. Like, this is
Yeah.
not a good, and I get paid a good amount. Like I'm like 1950 something, 1970 something.
Yeah.
And sometimes they give me like a couple extra dollars to come in for some shifts. Like I've been getting paid 23, 25. I'll show people. I'll be like, bro, you're like,
Yeah.
this is the flex. And
You
then-
just gotta hang in there for long enough to
and you
get
have to
the...
get the flex shift, and you have to train for certain positions so you're available.
So let's start at the beginning. When did you start at Amazon? You got out of the military,
2017-ish, 2018-ish, I started working at Amazon.
and what was your first position when you got in there?
Picker.
What does that mean?
My great granddaddy was a picker.
Is that part of your comedy set?
Yeah, that is. I mean, so I really wanted to get to that. So, bro, I was going so hard. I was going so hard with comedy in Dallas.
Yeah.
I met so many people.
You don't do it here?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
I
You do
did,
comedy here?
1 or 2 sets at Laugh Out Loud.
Uh-huh.
The
Mostly in
Elbow
Dallas?
Room. Yeah, but mostly in Dallas.
But not anymore?
No, not recently because we had our second child.
Congratulations.
And I can't be, yeah, thank you. I have a son. It's so amazing every day, bro. I go
Amen.
hug my wife and say, thank you, you did a great job.
Amen.
He's so energetic. He's like funny as hell, dude. Like he's like me and they be tripping out. I be like, okay, dude, listen, don't be doing this. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
You're like, I'm going to send you back to West Africa.
I know, right? I got your plane ticket
I've already
already.
told that joke, and my wife's like, hell no. But now she wants to go visit and stuff, so we'll see
Check
how
it
it
out.
goes. But she's not gonna leave. But
She's gonna come home with a cane.
maybe, man, this is crazy. But it teaches you a different level of discipline.
Sure.
There's
Yeah.
nothing like fear. You know what this African teacher used to tell me? He'd be like, in the Bible it says that there's madness in a child's heart, and you have to use discipline to drive it out, or something crazy.
I don't
I'm like,
know
bro,
those.
y'all be using that joke to manipulate people everywhere. I be like, y'all are tripping with that. Yeah, y'all are crazy. There are so many different religions. I'm like, oh, I'm in Africa. This has got to be the actual Church of Christ right here. This has got to be it.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's what I learned about churches and stuff.
So what does a picker do at Amazon?
Oh, so they just select the items to send out. So when you go to like pick an item out to your cart, they want to like streamline it so fast
Yeah.
that before you even really press buy, it's already on the way. Like,
Before you press buy?
almost like out of the business, yeah, like, almost out of the door.
So how come they don't have like little robots going in and picking stuff? Why are they still using human beings to go and pick
Because
stuff?
stuff is heavy.
Oh.
Couches, stuff like that.
You can buy a couch on Amazon?
Dude, you can buy anything on
You can buy
Amazon.
a barn dominium. You can buy a tiny house. Bro, we got land, and me and my wife have land. I'm like, bro, we need to do this. Like, bro, we need to build a bunker, bro. As soon as I get that VA loan, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. Building a bunker, all that.
How would you describe the working conditions at Amazon as a picker?
To be honest, it's gotten better for me at the place I work because I know where I'm at. But at some of these fulfillment centers, I think it's crazy because they make them pick like 400 or 500 items an hour.
Oh,
and
shit.
then like 5,000 items in a day.
How's that even possible?
Exactly. Because they have to go like to the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
They have to drink water, right? But it doesn't always happen like that. So basically, they just like,
So I've heard of people peeing in bottles under their...
oh yeah. See, so that got me in trouble because one of the article ladies, New York Times lady, this lady, she was cool, man. I talked to her a couple good times, and this is when I was still kind of scared about sharing my story. But she was trying to like blow up, put out like a big, hit piece type deal,
Sure.
right? And I mean, I knew that I should, right? And I wasn't even so pressed on like promoting my podcast. But then I was like, bro, you have so much press, it'd be a shame. So like, she was like, so would you say you've had to pee in a bottle, Daniel? I'm like, no, not me. I don't know for sure anyone at my business. Maybe in the parking lot, for sure, because you don't want to have to go clock in, and then because you have to go to the bathroom before you clock in, right?
Sure.
Otherwise, you won't make it, and you'll be late, and then you have to use you can get written up for that.
Yeah.
So basically, what you would do is like you would just pee in the car and just run in.
Yeah.
But like I probably had to do that at my old Amazon. Have I had to pee in a bottle at an Amazon building? No. But at the parking lot, yes. And there's bottles usually a lot in the area. People throw them out of the window as they're leaving.
Sure.
At like a lot of different buildings. Like you go to
A
any
lot of
building.
pee bottles all
Yeah,
over
there's
Amazon.
like a guy who's making a video and he's like, yeah, bro, you can just go pick up bottles and it's like right by.
Who wants to
Amazon.
pick up pee bottles?
He was doing a joke. He was doing hippies too. He's like, you can bottle and sell all the year. It's a
Gross.
product from Amazon. It's a product of Amazon. People are peeing in bottles.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the
But
New
I've
York
peed on a
Times-
road trip. I've peed in a bottle while I'm
people do
driving.
that, but-
Yeah.
So long story short, you shouldn't have to do stuff like that.
No.
But like, okay, so there's like a lot of other stuff that's happened at my Amazon that I just didn't want to like go crazy and like expose.
Sure.
So that's why I stopped doing those so much because I was like, man, why am I even doing this? Like I already, I got the understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple politicians. You know Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
She literally gave me a shout out on Twitter, and that's when I knew I had gone too far. I don't even know this lady.
Hey, she's
I don't
shouting
even
you out
know
on
this
Twitter.
lady, bro.
Your
And it's
podcast?
like-
She's like, listen
she's
to
like,
this.
I stand with,
Amazon.
yeah, I was staying with Daniel in his fight against Amazon.
Oh, shit.
And da 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 da. And then this other black politician on Democrats was like, yeah. I was like, this is it, bro. Are you gonna get bought or not? But I didn't really have like any reason to do it. But I knew what I should have did. Like, I should have just started my little, you know what you do. You start I want to feed everybody at Amazon campaign.
Oh,
So I'm paying these food trucks
okay.
to give everyone at Amazon one free meal.
Yeah. Did you do that?
No, man, but I could have, and I could have got like bought and did it. Like,
When they shot you out, you should have like tagged something
I know how
like,
to do that.
hey, everybody
I know-
donate
I know-
$1 and we're
I know
going
how
to
do
feed.
that. I know how to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like that's a crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, and basically getting bought by the man. Don't get bought by the man.
Don't get bought by the man.
This shit's whack, bro.
Getting bought by the man for
This has been a
free
public
Amazon
service,
meal.
Public service announcement.
public service announcement.
Don't get bought by the man.
It's whack. Because eventually, you know what it would end up being? It would have been like, okay, so who's getting these contracts to feed Amazon? It's approved.
Oh, somebody's
And then you know what's
brother-in-law
really
gets
crazy? The Amazon building would have been like, no, he can't do that. He can't just pay them to come here. He's not, So, and it's like, see, so basically they would just mess it up for me anyways. So I wasn't really about to do all that extra. There's other ways you could do it, bro. Like, there's people who live in their cars
Yeah.
in an Amazon parking lot.
Yeah.
And at first it was cool, though, but then Amazon was like, hey, you can't come to the building unless you're working a shift. And it's like, why would Amazon randomly say that and make a public announcement about that?
Because
It's
there's
like,
people sleeping in the parking lot.
and they're coming in at 2 a.m. taking a shit. And they're like, bro, like,
Inside the Amazon? Or?
hell yeah, bro.
Okay,
They can
good.
pee in bottles in their car. if
But
they
you
wanna
can't
have
poop
some-
in a bottle.
Listen, bro, with the invention of Netflix and gas stations, microwaves, you can live in a car, bro. Get
Sure.
your freaking gym membership.
Yeah,
and
take a
then-
shower every once in
And
a
just lay there, bro. Just lay your ass there and let cardboard box around your face.
while. Yeah.
And just, oh man, nothing matters. This just starts talking in my head.
So, you were a picker. How long until you got promoted to the
I
next
just
level?
move. You can just move departments. Usually, if you don't get written up, if you're doing a good job, you can just move departments. But I've moved around to a lot of different buildings. I was also at a building that Jeff Bezos came to
Hey.
in like, I don't even know, 2020 when that COVID thing happened. And then people were like, yo, you should have threw your shoe at him, right? And I was like, dude, I was on this. I was like, huh, I wonder what's going on. Like, and they were like, yo, everybody chill. Somebody's coming through today.
Yeah.
And I was like, him. And I was like, oh, it's him. I was like, nah. It was cool. I didn't see him that close. Maybe like from here to that fence.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, what's your position now at Amazon?
So I do pick, stow, and I also do,
But you're making a better rate, still doing the same picking job?
yeah, a little bit. It has to go up. You know what's crazy? The inflation. So
Yeah,
the inflation, based
inflation's
on the
going crazy,
inflation,
yeah.
I'm getting like $1 raise every year anyway. So I started out making like 11 and 12. Then they randomly bumped everyone up to 15. No
Nice.
regard for the people who were working there before.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of got pissed about that. But that's why like I felt like eventually someone had to just start talking about some shit because it was getting ridiculous. Like it was just getting ridiculous, like the way they kind of like. But you shouldn't make it a long-term job, they say. But with this economy and the inflation, you need part-time jobs.
Do you get benefits at Amazon?
I do.
Okay.
I'm very specific about how I work there now. So I just do part-time, and I can pick my shifts at expedient like prices. So I see a $20 shift, a $30, a $19.
Oh,
shift.
No kidding.
so they put the shift out, and then you're like, "Fuck yeah, they're paying $20 an hour. I'm picking up that shift." Okay, I get it.
That's interesting, man.
And the rest of the time, you're a roofer. How's that in the hot Texas sun?
It's great.
It's great.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Are you on the actual roof, or are you like doing the planning and sending
I'm on
up?
the roof. Well, I'm planning with them in the morning.
Yeah.
With tear off. I take pictures of each step right before. Like that's why, like when I look at your house, I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
you guys need a new roof.
you gotta re-roof it.
And I'm also about to like start doing pressure wash.
Okay.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, yeah, like we need to tarp everything, the plants and all that stuff. So you have to always do that. So
Yeah.
I've been enjoying that.
How often
Wow.
do you put out the podcast?
I was doing it every 14 days. I had to put out something, including a clip or a 4 to 5 minute video.
Yeah.
But my daughter recently got sick.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we went on vacation, and before that, I was kind of slacking anyway. So now everyone's begging me to get back on it. So there's, like I was saying, it's like there's these stroves and droves of people who come looking for me, and they're like, "Yo, the Surviving the Amazon podcast. Where's the next episode?" And I'll be like, "Bro, I don't even want to like say nothing stupid right now. I just
Yeah.
don't want to get fired because I've already like said enough to get fired."
You got a seniority position and stuff. You don't
Not
wanna-
even just that. They like know me. Like the people at the Amazon know me, and they go, "Oh, that's the guy with the white vest. He be talking about it in his videos." And,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't say anything too crazy because I don't want to get fired." And they were like, "Yeah, we respect it. We're not gonna say nothing." And I'll bring photographers to the Amazon, and we'll take pictures of me in front of there. You know, we put a couple black power fists in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't make it hot.
Did you ever feel targeted?
A little bit, but I don't really like think I get targeted that much because like it's perspective. I'm not paranoid like that. But then I started thinking maybe I should stop doing so much, so I stopped doing so much for like last couple months. Like so, the year before I had submitted a resolution to a shareholders resolution,
Sure.
and I had a resolution that we should stop using TOT or idle time, which they keep changing it in different places to keep doing it, right? If you don't scan an item every 5, 6, 7 minutes, it pings the system, "Hey, where are you?" And it's like, I'm parking my OP,
Yeah.
my forklift, and I'm going to the bathroom, taking off my harness, taking a shit, and it might take me like 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes.
Sure.
And then I walk back, maybe I got some water and some M&Ms. It's like stuff like that, right? You get written up for that. But like, you have to like, they don't account for that. Like imagine like, you have to drink so much water to stand for 10 hours straight. Or 12
Not bad.
hours straight.
I'm sure.
And I'm like, I know this sounds crazy to ask people this, but like, how many times do you think you go to the bathroom a day normally? Just
3,
when you're chilling?
4.
3 or 4 times you pee.
Yeah.
So like, if you're standing, you drink like quarter a gallon, half a gallon of water, you're gonna go to the bathroom at least like 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're burning that energy, and it's like way weird. Like, and it's like just knowing that you're gonna have to keep doing it all day. You have to time that out because not everything you scan counts as a scan towards your rate.
Oh.
If your rate isn't at the right rate, you'll be at the bottom of the percentage.
Yeah.
If you're in the bottom 5%, bottom 15, you can get written up that week.
Yeah.
And it's like, you'll just keep happening. And it's just like,
Why would not everything you scan count as a scan?
because like you have to have a cage, and then
Okay.
you have to have an item scanned into the cage. So, and you also have to scan the bin, right? So you
Sure.
still say you scan a bin, right? And in that bin, there's like a bed or a dresser, and
Sure.
it's in like a freaking huge box, but the box is stuck, so you can't even pick it. Or like you don't have enough space in the container you have, so you have to say, "All right, cage is full. I'm coming back."
Yeah.
So now, from that time that you said you scanned the item right before this to now, that is how long it's been since you scanned an item. Let's
now
say
you're
your
in
OP
trouble.
needs more hydrogen. You need to go fill it up with hydrogen. They have us filling up these things with hydrogen,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Yeah, like make sure you put in the USB port type of thing, and then you put in the hydrogen port," and then you're like, "Okay, but I haven't scanned an item, and now I need to go back to scan an item, but my cage is still full." And stuff
Sure.
like that. It just runs up your time, and you get in trouble for it. So, long story short, it's just like little stuff like that. And then they started making us wear helmets, but they kind of needed to because like there'll be stuff just hanging out of these bins, kids and stuff can fall.
Sure, yeah, that's
sometimes
dangerous.
there's
Safety,
second
yeah.
eyes and stuff like that. So
So, like, somebody orders a dresser, and you go and scan it. Do you have to get a second person to come help you lift, or
nah, that's
you're
the
just
thing.
a forklift?
Sometimes it'll say team lift, and it'll just be like pick it. And it's like, well, you could say, hey, item needs team lift, or you could just pick it because your rate is in jeopardy, and you're like,
Sure.
I'm
You
rushing.
gotta throw your back out.
And now you might accidentally, but they're like, oh, make sure you don't throw your back out. Make sure you're doing proper lifting techniques. But it's like you're rushing these people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. This, I was.
heard about it before?
Well, no, I've heard about the tough conditions, right? Because I've also heard similar tough conditions from Walmart. You know, maybe not as bad, or maybe even worse.
We're actually in the there's this meeting that trained me how to like organize a little bit, kind of. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
And they were like in there too. Walmart, PetSmart, places like that. They don't take care of their employees. You know, so.
That I've heard that a lot because we've had the business that I'm in. We've,
I would shout the people out. United for Respect. They were really cool.
Really?
Instrumental.
so
Press.
what I was going to say is it just, I know, comparing it to a movie. Remember that movie Hunger Games? Every day you fight to live another day, right?
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, I don't know how much stress and pressure somebody can take every day trying to fight for your job or to keep your job. Shit, that
It gets
sucks, man.
redundant. Like you don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, at what point do you say fuck this,
You're not
right?
even motivated anymore. You're just like, I'm trying to. But you know,
Get
what's
through the
crazy?
day.
It's like it's barely enough money to survive. You can't get out of Amazon with $1,000 a week. It will cost you like 60 hours.
Goddamn.
And it would be like $950 because of the taxes.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like you're better off just like.
Doing anything, being a
I mean, it's part
electrician.
time. Do part time and find another job and like go to school if you can.
Yeah.
I recommend a lot of people join the military. That's a very good like because they send you to school like and
Yeah.
they pay for your living and you don't have to pay for stuff while you're there. So even if you want to support somebody, you could do that.
Yeah.
You could literally like I mean people in the military, right? They would get their check and send it back to their family. I don't know, to pay the rent or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
you mentioned that earlier, and I just wanted to say thank you for your service. You know,
Thank you for your support, sir.
I've never served the military, but for that reason, I'll always be behind the military, and you know, be appreciative of what you guys do. So thank you.
Sure.
What branch?
The Army.
Nice.
I was doing medic.
Oh, you know how to do first aid and all that.
Yeah, I used to be a EMT, but I let it expire. And
Yeah.
I did like EMT work in Florida. I was at a homeless shelter. It was really fun. I got some homeless people jokes too.
You got some wood?
Homeless people jokes. They used to be like, they got the right string but the wrong yo-yo. That's what a homeless
Because
guy.
they're crazy? Or
Yeah,
that's
like-
something a homeless guy told you?
Both.
The right string worth the wrong yo-yo. I like that.
He'd say it's a dirty, dirty world, Mr. Daniel, but it still spins.
It does still spin, yeah.
I'm like, oh man. And I was like,
Deep homeless person philosopher.
it was
It's
a good
crazy.
time. I loved it. I met a lot of very interesting characters out there.
Yeah. How you doing on your drink?
Pretty good. I think it's all on, but
You want to pause for the cause?
Yeah, I think
no,
so,
I won't
man.
have any anymore.
Okay, well, I need some more, so we're going to pause for my
Sure.
cause.
Sure. What
We
time?
could-
It's going to run up my rate because we're
okay.
going to stop. So I'm going to.
But we're not going to charge you anything.
I might get
differently.
written up.
Yeah.
Let me see what time it is and check with my wife. Because, oh, yeah, it's already time. Yeah.
You got to get out of here?
Yeah, I know I do.
But we're going to pause for the cause, and then we're going to say thank you to
Oh, she
Daniel.
just texted me. Okay, yeah.
Before you go, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
My favorite conspiracy theory. Dang. I would say we never went to the moon. That's good.
That's a common one.
That's a good.
Joe Rogan did a whole thing on that one.
I like that one. It's hard to read.
Because it's you see the reflection on the dude's helmet.
Well,
you
if
see
we have
the-
an ISS, why don't we have a moon base?
yeah.
How do we have something just spinning in the atmosphere and we don't have something on another place that we've been to and we have pictures of it?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a live stream from the ISS. Point it to the moon and then go over there and then just set up a tent or something. 'cause-
And we did it in the 50s, and that was like almost
Yeah.
75 years ago. How come we haven't
We
done
still
that?
can't do it.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Well, Daniel, I know you mentioned you have to get going.
For sure.
By the way, I love your glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, two bears.
Well, yeah, these were in the car.
Yeah.
And I was like,
But you were mentioning those are the new.
yeah, these are the metas. They're great. I would do a little advertisement piece, but I don't know, man. People think I'm crazy. But
No,
it's
that's-
Was it talking to you right now? You
Yeah,
said.
they started playing music, and I had to just take them off, man. It was
Did you say hey Spotify? And I didn't
no.
hear you?
If you say "Hey Meta," or sometimes if you press a there's like these,
Button
like,
on the side.
they're not really even buttons. They're like
Sensors or something.
yeah, and you have like a thing, and we'll just start playing. I love them, man. They're so fire. Like it makes me feel like Iron Man, to be honest with you.
Nice.
Anything like if you think you're really if you think you're really smart, and you're gonna like invent something, or
Yeah.
Like even for this, like you could literally ask this, like, "Hey, give us some topics about podcasts," and it will literally write you a podcast.
Nice.
And if you keep asking it, like whatever you want, you get it. And it's like I remember when AI started first coming out, I'd ask people, "So what did you ask the AI genie for?"
Yeah.
I asked it for a workout plan,
Nice.
and I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you did."
The toast I did at the beginning of the podcast, I asked ChatGPT to write me a toast
Oh, really?
about conversation.
Oh wow!
that's
yeah,
what-
that's what you asked it for.
Yeah.
That's interesting how that works. It's just like a multiplier, like man.
Yeah.
I like
You were talking about how when you started your podcast, everybody started like helping you out. people
Yeah,
from around
like
the
so
world.
basically like the universe is like a vacuum in like that way. So when you start making yourself available to help with all these experiences, like they just come out of nowhere. Like they're coming to find you.
Law
They
of attraction.
Yeah, they literally invited me out to like, Chicago.
Oh, he's the same one. He came back.
Yeah.
I
So
guess
they-
he put the
Twice in one podcast.
One podcast. No, so it's like a sound effect. You can't scrub that.
all of our podcasts are filled with shit like that.
Yeah,
So.
it's original. So basically, yeah, man, there's nothing you can do.
All right, sir. Man, it was a pleasure. Would you ever think about coming back
Yeah,
again?
for sure. You guys
Yeah.
are cool. It was great working with you
Finish
guys
your
today.
cigar next time, brother.
Yeah, man. I just know I would not be able to talk and smoke because I know like stuff like that would give me a headache, and I'll be like, it went out. Can I have that blowtorch again? And it's like, do I need the blowtorch? It's like, yes, you need the blowtorch to smoke the cigar. It's like, I don't need to have a headache. I don't need that.
Well, from Scamazon to your experience in West Africa growing up, we appreciate you coming over,
Yeah,
man.
it was
Interesting. He had been talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I didn't want to like, and I had just got sick last time, man. Like I got so sick. Well, actually, do you guys have an iPhone charger?
I'm pretty sure my kids do. Yeah.
For sure, I need to use it because I don't even know how to get home.
You don't know how to get home.
Well, I know what this is. This is like the Stone Oak area, right?
Yeah.
North side. This is the rich side of town. Let me see your roof before we get out of here. Let's go.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna pause and then we'll finish the podcast without Daniel. But thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Go follow the Surviving Scamazon podcast.
Yes,
It's good shit.
Shout out. It was great working with these guys today.
So Daniel had to go. We appreciate him though. Thank you, Daniel. That was an interesting podcast. I'd love to have him back on again sometime. I'm sure there's a lot more stories that he could tell.
Well, it was interesting to hear, you know, we talk about cultures and we talk about some of the stuff he was sharing is very similar to what life was like. Now, obviously not exactly for me in growing up in Laredo or in Laredo, right, with a Mexican parent, right?
Yeah.
But there's some similarities there, you know?
Yeah. There are no teachers beating you with a cane. You just had a
Not all the
not only
time.
one ruler.
Not all the time.
But like your mom would discipline you when you got home after getting in trouble in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, there wasn't somebody disciplining you, you know, with swish or whatever you can call them. But yeah, nonetheless, it was in the 80s. If they did do it, it was okay. No teacher was going to get in trouble like they would nowadays, you know.
Yeah.
And
No.
then you were still going to get your ass kicked when you got home.
Yeah. No, going to school back then, you know, kids were allowed to fight in school. I remember, you know, getting in fights, watching fights, and security guard would just watch for a while, then like, all right, break it up.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, a kid gets in a fight, the cops show up, they arrest the kids now have
Because
criminal record.
fights back then were chingazos, dude. Fights
Yeah.
nowadays, it's like somebody's going to pull out a gun.
Yeah.
So it's...
I remember the 4-H kids had the gun racks in the back of their trucks
Oh, yeah.
parked in the parking lot. Nobody
Oh, yeah.
ever got shot up.
Well, the 4-H kids, and it was so common to see somebody with a freaking, rifle on the rack behind their single cab Ford or whatever it
I
was.
carried this knife all throughout high school. Not this knife, but a Spyderco, and nobody told me shit. I would take my Spyderco to class. Nobody ever once, no security guard ever told me anything. I don't know if they knew it. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you're walking around with something clipped into your pocket like that. But
that's what I'm saying. Things have changed so much,
Yeah.
Back in the day, when somebody said they're getting into chingazos, they
just
literally
this.
were getting into chingazos,
Yeah.
Nowadays, you never know who's going to pull out a gun or a knife or something on you. So we appreciate him sharing that. It's life growing up elsewhere, another continent. So anyway, good stuff, man.
I want to hear him talk more about conspiracies. He wanted to talk about conspiracies, but I wanted to talk about other. I thought we had more time to get into conspiracies towards the end, but he had to go. I would love to have him back on.
His Amazon information was.
Yeah,
interesting,
you're
dude.
surprised that Amazon still lets you be employed after starting an entire podcast talking shit about Amazon, but apparently, like, his podcast now is just him interviewing other people, so he's not the one talking shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you're right. Yeah, I was going to say it could have legal implications for Amazon if they don't allow him to, just share his opinions, right? But at the same time, anyway, he's there. He seems to be happy,
Yeah.
so that's good. Anyway, by the way, our kids were baking inside.
Yeah.
I know you didn't get to try it, but that thing was good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Apparently, what are they called? Pocket? Or no, cup cupcakes. No.
Cup.
What did he call them?
I don't know.
But you take the cupcake, bake it a little bit, then you make an indentation in the middle and finish baking it, so it kind of forms a cup when it comes out. And then you can put stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it was. So what else is going on, man? First week of school.
Yeah, school's back in session. My kids are. I still got to pick up my middle one like super late every night because she's got band practice after school. My older one, she already went to her first volleyball tournament, missed Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of school. What pisses me off the most about school
What
is.
pisses you off the most, man?
So, and I know this is nothing compared to what this man has gone through, but my kid will be on a UIL sanctioned trip for volleyball. It's a school volleyball. It's not like outside volleyball. It's school volleyball. And the school knows that she's missing classes for that. And every day I get a call from a school saying your daughter missed class. And it's like, well, no shit. You sent her away. I didn't send her away. I didn't want her to go on this trip. It was part of volleyball. And so then, like, the first time that ever happened, I'm like, I called him up and I said, bro, you're calling me and saying she missed class. You're the ones that sent her on a trip. And the lady that picked up the phone is like, oh yeah, that's just automated. Don't worry about that. When we finish the thing, we'll go back and credit her as excused absence. It's like, bro, just enter into the computer not to call me.
Not having to do with school, but it's like going to Chipotle and asking for guacamole and they don't have it. Fucking first world problems, right? That we have. I know, dude.
I love how we got really whiny after the dude that's actually suffered left.
You don't understand what it's like going to Starbucks and they don't have that mocha pump syrup. That's fucking bullshit. First world problems.
We are very blessed.
Yeah, we are.
We are very blessed. You can't see my shirt, but we're very blessed to be where we're at. I just lost my little magnet.
You drop your little
I
cosita.
dropped my cosito.
Oh, so speaking of cositas, this has nothing to do with that, but I got a call from my sister, who knows your wife very well.
Yeah.
My sister Claudia, and she's like, in fact, I'm gonna quote, I think, what she said, and I may misquote her, but she said, "Pincho estás bien puñeta."
What?
Yeah, and what that means is, you're a fucking idiot, basically.
Calling you an idiot?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Why?
what are you talking about? She goes, I cannot believe you fell for that freaking trick.
The fucking
The
cinco germen.
cinco germen no te vas, un germen no te vas, dos germen no.
But you played into it.
And I told her, I said, but I had seen the video already. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. I said, it fucking pops up on TikTok every God knows how
where I
often,
got it
right?
from.
And she's like, well, fuck, I thought you had just fallen for that shit, and I was starting to worry about you. I'm like, is she turning into an idiot, or why the fuck didn't he catch on to that shit? I'm like,
Wait, is this the same sister that believed we were gonna have Shaquille O'Neal?
that's her.
When we had
That's
when we were
her.
gonna have Shaku on.
Yeah, that's Chavelita.
Yeah.
So Chavelita, no, I didn't. I mean, it was fun. I just went along with it, and
Yeah, sometimes you gotta make content for
Cinco Germen no se fue.
Is it? Ooh. That little joke has a way different implication when you say it to your wife. Sometimes you might get a little lucky.
Yeah. Who knows? Try it.
No, I read it.
And you got it work?
Cheers.
I guess it does. There's what is a 50-50 chance it might work? Maybe less. I don't know. Who knows? Try it. Give it a shot. Let us know how it goes.
I'm 100 for 100 right now. So
All one time?
all the one time. That's all it takes, baby.
Just first time. And if it works, walk away.
Exactly.
Just make it happen.
Well,
Walk
next
away.
time you make the joke, she's like, I already heard the joke.
Yeah. But we can do the joke again.
If you take a shower, we could do the joke again.
Yeah, exactly. No, she did. She called me and I was wondering why she was sending me messages on. My sister tends to communicate. So I don't know if because it's too long to text.
Yeah.
But she'll send me voice recordings instead of text messages on WhatsApp. And so all of a sudden I'll get WhatsApp and it'll be my sister's name.
It's easier to instead of doing this, you just yell into your phone.
And I'll play it, and you know it's rather than reading somebody call you an idiot, it's I guess it's better to have the
verbally
volume
calling you
full.
an idiot.
I have the volume full blast. I played the video and it's like, pinche güey, puñeta, te dejaste que chingar. I'm like, all right, maybe I shouldn't have been listening to this in church, you know. But anyway, yeah. So hey, makes me happy to know that my sister's still listening. At
Hey!
least somebody listens to us.
Bro,
Yeah.
every view counts.
Yeah, thank you, Cholita.
We'll make them do something stupid again. It's all right. Keep watching. I'll plan something for next week.
Yep. Not for this week, next week. So stay tuned.
Yeah, my whole content was just Daniel.
Yeah.
Now that
We
he's
have nothing
gone, I'm
else.
like,
We got nothing. We're just
here?
going to sit here and you guys are
Stare at
going to
you.
watch us. Yeah. Let's stare into the camera. But anyway, dude, there was something I was telling you earlier today, and we were in the middle of having a conversation before we started the podcast, and I, for the life of me, can't remember what it was.
Just right now?
Well, no, earlier today.
Oh,
Earlier today.
I don't remember.
Fuck if I know. Anyway.
That was like 3 micheladas ago.
Which, by the way, today we're having micheladas with
Very
Modelo.
delicious.
And we started with 1 michelada beef waiting for Daniel.
Yeah.
And then 2 micheladas waiting for Daniel. 2.5 micheladas waiting for Daniel. And then we started the podcast. And now we're about
Now we had to pause and do another.
We're about
michelada.
4.5, 5 micheladas into this
That's
thing.
the way I
so
like to do it.
so our brains aren't 100% working, but they are. Anywho, shit, it's gonna come to me, dude.
Eventually.
Can't remember what it was, but anyway. So yeah, back to what we were saying. Back to school, back in session. Fucking sucked. First week it was It's always the hardest one.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, waking up this week was fucking terrible.
My little one is in patrols, which means she opens the doors for the
You have
cars
to be
pulling up.
earlier.
So yeah, I'm waking up at 5:45 every morning to get her there. And then like sometimes we're earlier than the teachers. We got to park in the parking lot until like the teacher shows up to unlock the gate. Our schools didn't used to have a gate. When I used to drop off my eldest when she was in elementary, the school didn't have a gate. And since then they've built like an entire like prison complex gate style system around the school. So you have to like scan yourself in
elementary?
elementary, yeah.
Dude, we had a gate at ours.
Which one? Where your kids go?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
You're talking about yours?
yeah. I'm talking about mine. We didn't have one for the first 2 kids. Like as the middle kid was leaving, that's when they started putting up the gate, and then it was just like partial gate.
So anybody could just walk in?
Well, no, you had to go and like knock on. You had to go and press a button and talk to the lady, and she would like press a button, and then the glass door would open. But now you can't even get up to the glass door without pressing the button and talking to the lady.
Fuck, man, that's interesting.
But when I would pick up my kids from Ken's, because the first two went through Ken's, because we didn't get off in time to pick them up, you could just walk up to the Ken's door and just knock on it, and the lady would come out and go, "Oh, okay." When my
she's
first,
all like, "Get your ghost kidders."
yeah,
Yeah.
but with the, you gotta know the password. Sesame.
A ver. Tamales. Pásale.
But like when the first kid was in Ken's, I could like open the door and walk in and like sit there in the chair and wait for my kids. So it's, as my kids have gotten older, it's progressively become more and more like a prison complex than an elementary school.
I can't tell. It's funny you say that because my kid, that's what my kid refers to school as.
Prison.
I guess I'm going back to prison. I'm like, shut up.
She got a little teardrop right there.
Yeah, first world problems again. And dude, ever since my kids have been in elementary school, it's like it's always been the buzzer to get in.
Yeah.
And then there's a gate, so you can't get anywhere into like any part of the school, with the exception of the parking lot in the front.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
So, I won't. But needless to say, first week we got through it. But
It starts again tomorrow.
yeah, thanks for the reminder, man.
Yeah. Monday's coming.
Well, it's and it's not just school. I mean, you know it, and we've been complaining the whole damn year about it, and now you're gonna listen to us complain about it again. But it's not just school; it's band, it's sports, it's everything, man.
Yeah.
And then this first semester, fall semester, when kids are in band, it's, you know how that goes, man. It's a freaking workload. So, you know what? But we were having a conversation a while ago about yours being already a senior, and you know, just gotta enjoy them, dude.
Yeah, your wife was more broken-hearted about
I know.
than I was. My kid is like graduating and leaving at the end of this year.
So the story is, last week my wife took our kids shopping, and since his kids were here at our house, she took them all. And his eldest is talking to my wife about college and you know what she's going to do next. And my wife gets home, and after your kids leave, it was late in the evening. She goes, I was talking to you know, Ben's daughter, and she was telling me that she might be getting ready to do this, and she's a senior, and you know, she's ready for graduation and to be moving on. And you know, as a parent, you're never ready. But my wife was so fucking choked up about it. I'm like, wow, you're choked up about her. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like when your kids graduate.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
It's tough. We've seen each other's kids grow up,
Yeah.
and
Hopefully your oldest and my oldest both go to A&M, then they can we can cry together.
yeah, dude. You know what? I've said it before. I'm not the kind of guy who cries. I find it hard to do, not because I just, you know, maybe I'm not that emotional, but I think when that happens, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
I'm the opposite. When my first kid was born, I became an emotional wreck. Fucking commercials on TV, the dog lost his bone, I'd be fucking crying and shit. I never cried before, but after my first kid, anything would set me off crying. Anything.
Well, dude, now I say I don't cry, which I don't,
Yeah.
but I may have told this story before.
Oh, cry.
I may have shared this story before, but when we first brought our daughter home, and this was in 2010, we were driving in from San Antonio to Laredo, because at the time we were living in Laredo. This is in 2009.
Yeah.
And my sister, you, of course, you know, and for those of you who don't, but my oldest is adopted. And so when we got to Laredo with her, first of all, it took me 3.5 hours to drive from San Antonio to Laredo.
Yeah.
It was an extra hour
Being
because,
very careful.
fuck,
with the
dude,
baby on the back.
I was driving the speed limit, and if anybody got close to me, I'm like, fucker, go around me, because I ain't moving. You know, it was just one of those things. It's like, I've got precious cargo, to hell with you, right? You want to blast your horn, go ahead. Just remember, I've got a truck and a brush cart. Yeah. So I'm going to push you out of the way. But we got home and everything was awesome. You know, my sister kind of planned for my wife's family, my family to be there outside our house, greeting and with signs saying "Welcome home." It was just such an awesome experience. And of course, we come inside the house, and my sister had the key to our house at the time, so she surprised us, right? And of course, you know, you've got all of our families, both our families there, just happy as clam, you know, to see us finally be able to have our baby.
Yeah.
So that night, you know, while everybody was there, it was awesome. And then all of a sudden that night they leave, and now it's just my wife and I with a newborn baby.
Yeah, that's intense.
Dude, so you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So everybody leaves, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, finally we get a little rest, right? And then it hit me. I'm like, fuck, we've got a newborn baby.
You're responsible for a human life.
Yes, dude. And I don't know what came over me, but I can tell you that my wife was took her to the room, and you know, she gave her the little bath with a baby wipes.
Sure.
We could put her in her onesie and take her to bed. While she's doing that, I'm just, you know, I told my wife, I said, let me go wash some bottles, right? Yeah. So I go wash some bottles, and I'm washing bottles, and all of a sudden I fucking break down.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was sobbing uncontrollably, and I don't know if it was the pressure of, like you said, now we've got this responsibility, of this little 8-pound baby, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that, it was fatherhood, it was parenthood, and maybe it was everything, but dude, it was the weirdest thing, because I'd never experienced something like that.
Yeah.
Man, it was crazy. But that's what kids do to you, man, I guess. And it happened with my second one a little bit, but not as much, and not because the love was any different, but because I think at that point you already had that experience.
Yeah, you're a veteran now.
But
you're battle tested at that point.
yeah. Although so there was a lot of things I learned from my oldest.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'll never forget. She, babies do this where their little hands go everywhere, and I remember she grabbed her hair, and then she clenched her hand, and then she starts pulling her hand down, but now she's pulling her own hair.
Yeah.
And she started crying like bloody murder, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how to get her to stop crying, and she's pulling her little hair, and dude, she's probably like, I don't know, a week or two old, right? And I'm yelling at my wife. I'm like, get over here, I don't know what to do. And she's like, and she comes over and she like just pries her little hand open, and she goes, there you go. I'm like, wow.
You didn't take her hand off her
No,
hair?
dude, no. Because I was afraid that I was gonna like break her little fingers if I tried opening it. I don't know, dude. So this goes through the story. Well, like I said, we were at the hospital when she was born, and I've always been afraid of holding babies.
Yeah.
Right, up until then. And so the nurse comes in. She goes, "You want to hold her?" And I said, "No, not just yet." And biological mom was there, and she's like, go ahead and hold her. And I'm like, my wife, she's like, John, you want to hold her here? Let me put her in your arms. So they put her in my arms, and I'm holding her, and I've got my hand on her. And, I don't have little hands. I have...
Big meat hooks?
Yeah, exactly. As the nurse called them that day, you don't have hands, you have paws, right? And so I'm holding the baby like this, right? And, of course, it's an 8-pound baby that's 12 hours old.
Yeah.
Or 10 hours old, maybe less.
Yeah.
So guess what she's going to do? Nothing.
Yeah.
But I've got my hand on her in case the baby decides that they want to
jump out of your arms?
Yes. And so the nurse comes in. She goes, are you okay? I said, yeah. She goes...
You're holding her like a football?
Yeah, I'm holding her like a football. And I've got my hand on the rest, and I've got my hand like this. And the nurse goes... she's not going to jump out of your arms, right? I said, well, I don't
know that.
I don't, exactly. That's what I told her. I said, well, I don't know that. You don't know that. She goes, she's 8 hours old. I'm pretty sure she's not going to do it. I'm like, I don't know. What if she has a little hiccup? And I'm like, I'm not going to risk that. So for the first, like, I don't know, 14 years, up until last year, I was still like,
Okay, I think she's ready to
don't
walk
move,
now.
Don't move. Okay, maybe now. She's like, Dad, come on, I got band to go to. I'm like, are you sure?
Just a few more minutes. Come on.
You need another bottle? I got your wubba nub. So yeah, man, it was. That's why I said I've never been the emotional guy, but who knows? To your point, once they get to college,
You might break down. And I will be there to film it and put it on the Zesty or Jesse
I
podcast.
feel pretty certain I will. Look, I'm going to tell you, if I were to cry, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not one to shy away from it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But
Very stoic.
yeah, and I don't mean to, like, I don't do it because, I got to be tough. No, it's just, I guess it just, it didn't happen. Like I said, that day, for day one when we got home, it's like out of nowhere, I just started sobbing, dude. And
It's a beautiful story, man.
yeah, man, it was scary, but it was fun. It was great.
That it describes parenthood in a nutshell. It was scary, but it was fun.
Yeah, and it still is. And 15 years later, it's still
It's
scary.
still scary and it's still fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And exhausting.
Dude, I was looking forward to our kids growing up because I felt like, man, I can't wait for them to grow up. And then I don't have to, when they're little, you stress about them. They're eating, it's like, are they going to choke? Or it's
Stick their
just
finger in the electrical plug. or
something. And I'm like, I can't wait. Oh, and then they get sick and it's like, they can't blow their little nose. So you got to like suction
Yeah,
up
with the-
everything. And so that part to me was stressful.
Yeah.
Like way stressful. And I couldn't wait for them to get older, for us to get past that. And then finally they got older and I realized, man,
Those were the good years.
yes. Because now it's like,
They go to a party, you're stressful. Oh, fuck, I hope there's no drunk
so the
drivers.
stress never goes away. It's just different.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you which one's better. I think the younger years were better just because you feel like you're so far away from them leaving the nest, And now, just like yourself, it feels like it's just right there, and it truly is.
Yeah.
So
I think 5 to 8 is my favorite years because they're still happy when daddy comes home. You come in the door and they run up, Daddy, Daddy. They don't do that anymore. Even my youngest doesn't even do that anymore. She's like, hey.
yeah,
What's
I
up?
have a 13-year-old that she sees me and she's like, "Fuck you," and she walks away. But I will share a really cool story. For the first time this past Friday, my kid says to me, "Dad, can we go to Dutch Bros and get some coffee?"
Nice.
I'm like, "Yeah."
Your oldest or your?
My oldest.
Okay.
So we drop off my younger one at middle school. Then, high school doesn't start till almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we drop off my middle schooler. We go back to the Dutch Bros. And I told her, but I'm not buying you your damn coffee. Because, dude, I'm done paying these exuberant prices for coffee. I'm sorry. You want your coffee, you pay it on your own, right? Which essentially I'm paying for it because the money comes from me.
Yeah.
Or my wife.
But it's the symbolism of it.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Symbolism. So I was like, you're paying for your own coffee. She's like, okay. I'm like, all right. Because deep down inside, she's like, it's your money, whatever.
Yeah.
So I take her, and I'm like, you know what? I told her, I said, why don't we do this? I said, I'm going to take you, Mama. I said, why don't you treat that to like a small cup of coffee? She's like, what kind? I said, I just want regular coffee. I don't need any bells and whistles and extra pumps or flavors. So just a regular cup of coffee. She's like, okay. She wasn't going to complain because I'm already taking